Hi guys!
Hello.
Today we're gonna do a video telling you some facts about us that you might have heard but you didn't know a lot about. We're going to elaborate on some that you might have heard of and then talk about some that you probably didn't even know about even a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so the first one I have is, and I found it out really recently, like the past year or two, is I have a really unhealthy obsession with guacamole.
Oh my god. Oh my god, me too.
Like I've literally eaten like 4 avocados with a guacamole, just throw it in a bowl and shit, it's mine.
Some of you may know this, but I do want to elaborate it on a little bit. I have a completely irrational fear of monkeys. I know where it stems from. Maybe you guys remember a long time ago, like a really long time ago, there was a documentary about a woman who owned a monkey.
Oh god.
And got her face ripped off by a monkey. And I was very young and I walked in, nobody knew I was watching the TV while the adults were watching. And I saw the TV and it scarred me. I was like, no.
Humans have done that to other humans
Curious
before,
George,
though.
no!
So number 3, and I swear I don't really have this, but he insists. I have a slightly, ever so slightly squarish, like, middle toe.
It's a square.
It is not a square. Like,
His
just
toe is
like
square.
a brief.
You can't even...
Well, you know, it's
Here,
like,
wait. I'm gonna put in a picture right here.
It's rounded.
Wait, no, it's not.
That is so rounded.
Put your foot down. It's square. Like,
So-
yes, it is rounded, but it is close to anything on the human body I've ever seen that was a square.
Leave it down in the comments if you think it's a square or it's more of an oblong shape.
Number 4. A lot of people don't know this, but I've owned a few odd animals in my life, but I actually raised from ducklings 2 ducks. One was named Pablo, the other was named Waddles, and they were my ducks, and I raised them. And one acted like a parrot. He would sit on my shoulder even when he was like this big, because they're called Muscovies, and they're not the prettiest ducks in the world, but they get really big and they have huge claws, but they're really not aggressive. But he would sit on my shoulder even when he was like a full-grown duck, and he would watch TV with me.
So number 5, most of you who follow me on Instagram for a while should know this, but like newer people might not, and it's actually 2 summers ago, I ended up dropping 40 pounds in just like a single summer.
Oh god, yeah.
So yeah, I did a really good job with that.
You look so different.
Oh, I know, I used to be very, very...
He was round in the face. Like, you had a very round face.
Yeah.
Like, I was with you at that point in your life, and I remember you being like, I'm gonna lose a whole bunch of weight, and all of a sudden you started drinking a whole bunch of water, and I was like, okay. But like, every now and then I'll look at him, I'm like, oh shit, he has cheekbones now, I forgot.
I turned into this beauty.
Number 6, this isn't too shocking or too weird, but I'm allergic to 2 things. I'm allergic to cats and mangoes. I'm not a big fan of cats, I've always been a dog person, but I love mangoes. Mangoes are my favorite fruit. I love them, and even though I'm allergic, I eat them. And I have eaten them before, and I got so sick that I couldn't even go to school, but you know what? It was worth it.
And he still continues to eat them.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 7 is kind of a weird one. So most of you should know I was adopted from Russia, but what you wouldn't know is that the only reason I was able to be adopted was because I had a severe disease that needed quick treatment.
So that he had to be rushed to America.
Yeah, so like, you know, the adoption process would go through faster, but in reality all I had was a salt deficiency.
Yeah, they lied and were like, this baby is fucked up. Take it. And the government was like, yes! And then he was like, I just needed a saltine. Number 8 is, I have an extreme addiction to Sunkist. It's not even funny.
It's annoying.
It's annoying. Like, I get that a lot of people are like, yeah, it's a great beverage. I literally can go through a 12-pack in like 3 days.
So number 9 kind of has to do with the last one, but it doesn't. And so I have like 2 giant, like deep scars on my body, and I have no idea why they're there. I have one like on my calf area and one on like my pubic area. My pubic area?
Pubic area.
And
it's on his crotch.
well, because it's like, I don't know, is that the pubic area or is that like ish?
No, it's the pubic area. We're both just examining his penis.
And they're like really like deep scars.
They're
and
big.
I have no idea where they came from. and nobody knows why.
Okay, so this goes along with a lot of you, the fact that you know that I have a thing for reptiles. For a really long time, for like 9 months, I volunteered at a reptile shop that was near my house, and it was the best job that I wasn't even paid for that I ever had. I literally got to play with giant ass snakes and spiders. A lot of people are gonna be like, it's a reptile shop. They had like exotic animals. Not only that, I also I did get to play with these 2 giant snakes. There was one boy and one girl. They were named Jack and Jill, and they loved me. And then they also had a sloth named Cece, and she loved me too. I used to feed a sloth who was like my best friend carrots all the time.
So number 11 is, a lot of people do know this, but not everybody, and it's actually that when I came to America, I was actually raised in New York for 7 years, and like I was in a really nice part of New York. And it was really cool because I basically had like a 5-story house to myself. And yeah, and I'm cool because of that.
And then he moved here.
And then I moved to Houston and I found you, and so that was good because I love you.
Number 12 is, so a lot of people really don't know this, and I don't think a lot of people are gonna even suspect this, but I have severe road rage. Like really, really bad, to the point, but I do also think it's a Houston thing. There are some incredibly
people in Houston cannot drive.
Stupid people on the road. And I have such bad road rage that when I drive alone, and I don't even think you know this, when I drive alone, I actually listen to classical music because...
Really?
Like I have a classical iTunes playlist that I play. Because it's really hard to like be really mad at someone when you're listening to Mozart.
So number 13 is something we've also found out very recently when we made our trips to LA. So when I go through the airport, for some reason, the past few times, my crotch has lit up like really hard every time I go through the little scanner. And like
they have to pat him down every time.
And it's like a lot of the times it's like a really like older gentleman, and I'm kind of just standing there while he's like gripping my thigh.
And they always do this thing where they're like, I'm gonna tell you everything that happens so you're not afraid. And he's like, I'm going to very gently caress your genitals with the back of my hand. And then I'm just sitting there like, so number 14 is, some of you may know this, but I do have a lizard. Her name is Abby.
A giant lizard.
She's 4 feet long, but she's not dangerous. Everyone's like, that thing's gonna bite me. She's never even tried to bite me ever. I don't even ever think she's been mad at me. Sometimes she's like, I'm done looking at you, and she'll go away and then like go into her cage, but she's literally like my cuddle bug. She'll sleep with me all night long. Like she'll just chill in my bed. Like she's literally like a dog, but she's a lizard, and she's adorable.
So number 15 is something that was only half my fault, but we actually missed our anniversary by a month, the first year.
Our year anniversary.
We thought it was happening in August, but it actually was in July, and we were kind of just like,
oopsies.
Oopsie dipsies. Because because we started YouTube like really soon after we got together, and he got a notification like, it's been a year since you did YouTube, and it didn't match up with like...
And I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. Our anniversary is in a few days. And then I'm like, I was right the first time about our anniversary.
Yeah, but I took you to a really nice dinner anyway, so it's okay.
It was so nice.
Was it the Brazilian steakhouse?
It was.
Brazilian steakhouse is so nice.
We also then went on our 1.5 year anniversary. It's so good though. Like it's perfect. Because they keep feeding you.
Yeah, so much meat.
Number 16, I had a really bad house fire when I was in the 7th grade. And a lot of people don't know that there's like a huge backstory to this, but I had a house fire that was actually caused by one of my still best friends now. Her name is Emily, and she literally burnt down my house. And then that night, because I knew she did it, and it wasn't like, I don't even ever think there was a moment where I was like actually mad at her, because it was just such a horrible thing that there was never any blame put on her, because it's like, I know she didn't do it on purpose. I know she wasn't like, watch this. But that night I literally ended up spending the night at her house because my house burnt down. And
it got rid of ghosts.
Yeah, it did. Leave a comment if you want a video about that, but there were some things that happened.
So number 17 actually has to do with YouTube. One time this company emailed us. I'm not gonna say the company name, but they emailed us and they sent us their a product and they were like, if you like it, go ahead and make a video about it and we'll work together. But they sent it to us and we're not gonna name what it is for reasons, but it was such like a bad product and we emailed it back and I was like, we can't do a video over this because we can't subject our fans to this. So they sent us the email back and they were like completely outraged that we didn't do this video, but we were like, we cannot do it, like we can't sell this to our fans.
This sounds really picky, but we do sponsor videos. We're not gonna be like, we don't do sponsor videos, or we're gonna try to hide it. But we only do products that we're passionate about and feel like they work. If you bought our sponsorship products, you know that it's a quality thing, it's not bullshit. And this was so unbelievably bad. We would literally have to do tricky editing to literally make this product look like it worked. It was that bad.
Yeah, and so we didn't do it and they got mad and that was not a fun altercation.
They literally even they threw some shade and it was really unprofessional. I mean, it's not a huge company, like you've probably never heard of them, but it was pretty pathetic. Needless to say, we're never gonna work with them. Number 18, I'm gonna go along with the theme that my house burnt down. I've been physically on fire more times
than most people.
I'm gonna start with a time that happened most recently. I'm not a pyro, but I love fireworks and
You're a pyro.
I'm a pyro. I'm not like someone who's gonna go burn down a house and jerk off to it, but they're pretty weird people in the world. But I was doing this thing where I had a firework, I took it apart, and I put all the components in a little pile, and I stood over that pile with a fuse and tried to light it. I'm a dumbass. A spark from the fuse fell directly onto the pyre, went up in flames right under me. It caught my basketball shorts and my t-shirt on fire. I literally kind of just stood there in shock and awe, because not only was it very loud because there was this little packet in it that actually exploded, so I didn't go deaf, but I had like the ringing and I was on fire and I couldn't see very well, and I opened my eyes and I was on fire and I jumped in my pool, but it was so bad that I actually burnt off the eyelashes of one of my eyes. And for a few days after that, I'm like, what smells so bad? And I was convinced, because it burnt my skin, I had burning flesh, that it was my skin. And then I realized that it also singed all the hairs in my nose. Oh my god.
And he wonders why I don't let him play with fire anymore, and he gets upset when I don't, and these are the reasons.
Another time was I had this little science experiment kit, and it was really cute, and because I'm a huge science nerd, I love playing with chemicals and stuff, and I made this gel, and it was this gel that to the touch feels very cool, and I put it all over my arm, and then I was mixing something in a thing that made some type of flammable gas, and I was like, LOL, I'm gonna light it on fire, not knowing that the junk that I had on my arm was flammable. And I lit it on fire, my whole arm caught on fire. I was like, fuck! And my mom was in the room and she turned around and she was like, fuck! And I put it out, but I didn't have any hair on my arm. My thumb was burnt the worst for whatever reason, and it looked like an old people thumb for a month.
So number 19, and this is something a lot of people know, but people don't know details about. And it's that I was actually adopted from Kazan, Russia. And
his real name was Nikolai Vasilievich Laktushin.
Nikolai Vasilievich Laktushin.
Did I say it wrong?
You said Vasilievich. It's Vasilievich.
You tried
You tried best, but you did it wrong.
So number 20 is a time that I actually almost died, but the other times, I guess you could say I could have, but I would have just had to stand there and be like, shit, for a few minutes. But this time I really didn't have any control. About a year ago in Houston, we were getting rain constantly. It was flooding,
feet of water
every other week. It was really bad. And I was working at Hollister, which was in a mall. It's kind of close to my house, but it's kind of far away. It's about a 15-minute drive. And as I was coming home, it started pouring. So the roads got really slippery, but it was also just drenched in water. My windshield wipers were really working, and they weren't even doing that good of a job. I was on a narrow road that had no lighting. A truck drove past me with his brights on,
It was only a 2-lane road.
Yeah, and splashed a shit ton of water on my car. I had a Honda Accord, which is a very, 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 very light car. By the time I was able to see again, I had realized that I had lost control of my car because I was hydroplaning. I remember trying to slam on my brakes, but it was just, there was no point. I was going like 40 miles an hour. My car hit a bump, kind of did a jump, but I ended up landing in a ditch going 40 miles an hour, which sounds like it's not that bad, but I slammed into my steering wheel. My airbag didn't deploy, which is why it kind of relates on how I got my new car, but the airbag didn't deploy. I had a bruise in the shape of a steering wheel on my chest. My shoulder dislocated. I was able to put that back in place because I've had shoulder problems in the past, so I kind of knew how to do it. And I was like, shit, so I called my mom, put her up on the dash, and was like, I was trying to get out of my car, but since I was in a ditch, my doors wouldn't open. And I was like, Mom, I don't know where I am, and
help.
I need help, so can you drive and get me? And she's like, oh my god, yes, you're so stupid. And then I was like, wait, Mom? I didn't realize because the water was warm, but water had actually gotten into my car to the point where it was up to my legs. And I was like, Mom, my car is filling up with water. And she goes, what? And I'm like, it's up to my legs. And she's like, what the fuck do you mean it's up to your legs? Roll down your windows. I tried to roll down my windows. They wouldn't go down. It had gone up my engine. And I realized that's so stupid. I should have done that right away, but I just wasn't thinking about it. At this point, water started rushing in very, very fast. I was punching my window with my hand. And Nikolai saw the aftermath. My hand was, we're pretty sure it was fractured. It was literally black and blue the days afterwards. Like, I had adrenaline. I was punching that shit as hard as I could. I tried kicking it. I used my seatbelt buckle. I used my keys. Someone told me that you can use the back of your headrest, which is a good idea. I didn't do that though. I didn't know you could do that. And it was literally up to my neck, and I had about this much room when someone finally stopped, which really made me mad because people were passing me by and no one stopped. And but someone passing by stopped and said that they literally heard me screaming and banging on my window from inside their car. They stopped and actually had to hit it with a tire iron twice, and then I had to kick it out. Needless to say, if that guy hadn't have come, I probably would have died. It was really, really scary. Those are 20 facts that you might not have known about us. Definitely leave in the comments which one that you were either most shocked of or didn't ever even think was a thing. Also, make sure you like this if you liked this video. Hopefully you had fun getting to know us a little bit better.
Also, let us know if you want to us to expand on something that we talked about here more.
Yeah, we can very easily make any of those topics into major videos.
Storytime videos, maybe. Yes.
So yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button. At this point, we're trying to hit 100,000 subscribers.
Yes.
Also, make sure you follow us on all of our social media. It's right here, and it will also be in the description box. Leave in the comments if you want any upcoming videos. And remember, you guys,
you're never alone.
Because you always have us. Bye, you guys. We love you.